Quantitative research studies rely on numerical or measurable data, while qualitative research studies rely on personal accounts or documents that illustrate in detail how people think or respond. Descriptive answers questions how, what, who, where. It is observational, survey, and case study. Correlational examines the relationship between two or more variables. It is measured without manipulation. Causal comparative attempt to determine the cause or consequences and investigates causes. Phenomenological, it is a form of inquiry that emphasizes experience in life aspects. Ethnographic, researchers observe and or interact with study part in the real life environment. Grounded theory involves the collection and analysis of data. The theory is grounded actual data after the analysis and development of theories happens after you have collected.
My name is Rene Buiquino, BEd student, third year. Mm, The purpose of hypothesis research is to find the answer to a question through prediction, but very tentatively because the hypothesis is like a prediction, not accurate, but there is an answer to a question through prediction or expectation. I have two example. Number one, when someone too much drunk and alcohol, probably it will cause illness of their liver. Number two, and the person who eats a lot of fatty foods, maybe it will cause of high blood pressure. That's all. I thank you.
Explain briefly population and sampling in research. In research, the population is the entire group that you want to draw conclusions about, and the sample is the specific group that you will collect data from. Discuss briefly the different types of probability and non-probability samplings. The probability sampling means that every member of the population has a chance of being selected. And there are types of probability sampling that you can use in. First is the simple random sampling. Simple random sampling, it is the most basic form of probability sampling. It involves spontaneously selecting members of the research sample from the population of interest. Second is the systematic sampling. It is a word that the researcher uses a random starting point and fixed intervals to determine members of the research population. And the third is the stratified sampling. And it is based on the principle of stratification. And the last is cluster sampling, or also known as multi-stage sampling. It is a method of probability sampling used for selecting research samples from a large population. Non-probability sampling. It is a method of selecting units from a population using a subjective method. And it is a fast, easy, and expensive way of obtaining data. And there are five types of probability samplings. First is the convenience sampling. Second is quota sampling. Third is self-selected sampling. Fourth is novel sampling. Fifth is the perfusive sampling. Convenience sampling is a type of non-probability sampling that involves the sample being drawn from the part of the population that is close to hand. And this type of sampling is most useful for pilot testing. Second is the quota sampling. Quota sampling it is a method for selecting survey participants that is a non-probabilistic version of stratified sampling. Third is the self-selection sampling. Self-selection sampling consists of participants becoming part of a study because they voluntarily ask or in response to an advert. Third is the snowball sampling. Snowball sampling it is a technique where existing study subjects recruit future subjects from among their acquaintances. And it is a recruitment technique in which research participants are asked to assist researchers in identifying another potential subjects. Third is the perfusive sampling. Perfusive sampling refers to a group of non-probability sampling techniques in which units are selected because they have characteristics that you need in your sample.